Hey, it's your good friend, it's your pal, it's your compadre, all that stuff with the hands. It's TC, everybody. Welcome to what is it? It is August 20th, 2025. And welcome to Rock This Town Live. We are here every Monday through Friday, starting at 6 p.m. now. There's been a time change, 5 Central, and that is 3 on the West Coast of America, and also here in the beautiful state of Arizona. So there you go. Cool. What's going on the big show today? Well, I always love reliving the past, and Donington clearly took place a number of years ago around this time. So we're reliving the past with a little Donington like we did last night as well. But this is a different lineup. So you got that going for you. We'll talk a little Bon Jovi and other artists who are now part of the 2 billion club on Spotify. Whitesnake. Might we get kind of a last set of shows from Whitesnake? That would be cool. I know David Coverdale, he's doing his thing basically on the X platform. I don't know if he cross posts to Facebook and other places as well, but you can find him on X, formerly known as Twitter. He's kind of cheeky, very cheeky. He's a funny guy. He likes to post really funny stuff. None of it's political, which is great. None of it is, I mean, some of it's music, I suppose, but he's a fun follow on the platform they call X, formerly known as Twitter. We'll talk a little Sammy Hagar as well. Apparently, Sammy is embracing David Lee Roth's comments. And then we'll talk about the best Iron Maiden records. I have my picks. These are my picks. Whether they're good or not, we'll see. And then finally, I've got a battle again for August 20th. It is, what is it? It is... 2 records that came out today in history, Typo Negative and Queensryche. So we'll battle that out here coming up in just 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. All right, cool. Let's get started. I always love reliving the past, and I think this was a very cool Monsters of Rock poster from, well, what year was this? It doesn't really say what year this was. Donington, August 20th, obviously, which is today. Let's see. If I had to guess, Iron Maiden headlining, I'm going to guess like 80. Oh, it's got to be 88 because Guns N' Roses are on the bill. It's not 87, clearly, because the record had just come out and Guns N' Roses really wasn't established. So that's right. In 1988, Monsters of Rock, Iron Maiden headlined. Okay, respect. Kiss was second on the bill. David Lee Roth was third on the bill. Now, Dave's obviously out there doing some touring. Kiss is retired, maybe not. We'll see. And Maiden, we're waiting for Run for Your Lives to hit America sometime next year. I'm guessing we're going to get an announcement on that sometime this fall and tour dates sometime next year. Megadeth was on the bill, the same line as Guns N' Roses. So there you go. Guns N' Roses obviously was exploding then in 88. And then Megadeth, obviously, well, I mean, Megadeth 88, I mean, they had a good record out, but it wasn't until the 90s, I don't think, when Megadeth became kind of the elite band that they would become. So there you go. Also, Halloween is on the bill, and there's a couple other artists on the bill that I cannot even read. So, if I was to reorder that for today, and if it was in England, would I put Guns N' Roses number 1 as the headliner, or would I put Maiden still? Ooh, that's a tough one, man. It would probably have to be Guns N' Roses number 1, though. I would argue that Maiden still could be number 1. It could be a co-headline. Let's see. Kiss would probably be number 2. Halloween would be down the list, obviously. And then what else? Oh, David Lee Roth and Megadeth. I would probably put Megadeth ahead of David Lee Roth, though David Lee Roth's doing some pretty good business on his latest tour. We'll actually show you some tour dates here in just a bit because since he's out there doing his thing, I figure, well, why not? Cool. All right. Hey, just wanted to check in, say hello to everybody that might be hanging out with us. Jen's hanging out with us. Hey, Jenny. And then Herver's hanging out with us. Good to see you, Herver. Very good to see you. So let's talk about the Spotify 2 billion club when it comes to rock and metal. I made this chart up just based off of rock and metal, took off some stuff that just didn't belong. Coldplay, come on. No, I don't think so. But anyways, Bon Jovi just joined the Spotify 2 billion club. What was it the other day? I think it might have been on Monday. And going over 2 billion, the first song that they've had go over 2 billion, Living on a Prayer. Ironically, AC/DC just went over last week with Highway to Hell, and they have actually two songs that are like 1.75 billion. So they have two more songs about to go over the billion club on Spotify. It's Back in Black and then Thunderstruck. So very cool. Creedence on the list. I can't believe. I mean, as I've gotten older, so when I was younger, I couldn't stand Creedence Clearwater Revival. I just could not stand them. But now as I've gotten older, I kind of love Creedence. What can I say? I kind of love them. So there you go. Queen, a couple of times on this list. They've got 3 songs. Another one, Bites the Dust. They've got what else? Don't Stop Me Now. And they've got Bohemian Rhapsody. I think there's one other one. I think it's Under Pressure, about to go over 2 billion as well. So Queen, definitely by far when it comes to rock and metal, the biggest band in the world, from the biggest band that's ever been, to quote Joe Elliott from the Freddie Mercury tribute. So there you go. Fleetwood Mac on the list as well. Guns N' Roses has 1 song. Nice. Linkin Park has 2 songs, Numb and also In the End. Aha. Okay, Aha is not really rock or metal, but it's really good 80s pop, and 80s pop was fantastic in my humble opinion. So there you go. I left it in because Take On Me, love those Norwegians, and that song is done really well. Oasis on the list, obviously. I think is their tour. When does their tour kick off in the U.S.? So Oasis U.S. dates. Let's see. When does that? I think that's pretty quick now. Yeah, it's this weekend. Not this weekend. About a week from tomorrow. So the 28th. In Chicago at Soldier Field. Then they're doing 2 shows in East Rutherford, New Jersey. You know, New Jersey is going to be pretty busy over there in New York area come August, the end of August. I think on the 27th and the 28th, System of a Down is playing 2 stadium shows at MetLife Stadium. And then on the 31st and the 1st of September, Oasis playing 2 stadium shows. So pretty good. Nirvana makes the list, of course, as you'd expect. Journey, Don't Stop Believin', of course. The end of the Sopranos episode, the final episode. I get that episode now. At the time, I don't know if you were watching that episode. Jen and I are watching it, and the screen goes to black, and we're like, what the hell happened? Did the cable go out? I think everybody thought that. Everybody and their mother thought that. But if you go back and watch kind of season 6, everything is foreshadowing on what happens at the end of the series. And then some people have said that Tony's already dead and it's a dream basically that he's having at the end of. That's a rabbit hole to go down another day. Goo Goo Dolls on the list. The Killers, Mr. Brightside. Yeah, Jen loving the Killers, baby. Jen loves the Killers. The Police with Every Breath You Take, and then of course Queen at number 1. So I was looking at songs that are close to going over 2 billion in the rock and metal world, and let me tell you what songs are about to go. They're actually just today. Jack White and Meg White. What's the name of that band? Oh, the White Stripes, of course. Makes sense. 7 Nation Army went over 2 billion streams on Spotify as of today. That Beggin' song by Måneskin, which I think is a Frankie Valli song, right? Beggin'? Måneskin, that's almost going to go 2 billion here. Hotel California coming up as well. Under Pressure is mentioned. Thunderstruck, Back in Black. Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon. Also, let's see, Enter Sandman is at 1.8 billion. Pretty good. The Chili Peppers got a couple songs in there. There's another Creedence song, Fortunate Son. Chop Suey by System of a Down, 1.75 billion. And then another Nirvana song, which would be Come As You Are. And then finally, the Beatles, perhaps the greatest Beatles song ever, in my humble opinion. Is it what you think it is? No, it is Here Comes the Sun, Cheedy Dee Dee, with, I think, isn't that George Harrison on lead vocals? You know what I'm talking about. George, the best Beatle. That's right. Say it isn't so. I say it is so, baby. Come on now. Very nice. Yeah, I changed the time of the show, Herver. I get it. It's a little earlier now, but I feel that it fits with my schedule a little bit, and you can almost rewind it. But obviously, you're hanging out with us today, and it's great to see you, and that's awesome. So there you go. Cool. What else? Herver also mentioned, and where is Enter Sandman? That's a good question. Where is Enter Sandman? I should check to see where that is. You figure that would be on that list. Oh, or did I mention that already? Enter Sandman. Oh yeah, I did. 1.8 billion. So it's coming around the bend. By the end of the year, I'm guessing Enter Sandman will be there. So for the boys in Metallica. Let me see any other metal songs that are really popular. Let me get rid of the rock category here that I've sorted. I'll go with hard rock and metal. So that's going to eliminate a whole bunch. Let's see what else is coming up there. Oh, more AC/DC, Bring Me to Life, 1.6 billion. Welcome to the Jungle, 1.5 billion. Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. Paranoid by Black Sabbath. Dream On by Aerosmith is at 1.4 billion. Papa Roach, same thing. You Give Love a Bad Name. There as well. Toxicity, System of a Down. So yeah, Master of Puppets, by the way, that just went over 1 billion here recently as well. So there you go. That's the list. So yeah, you know. All right, cool. So my friend David Coverdale, who loves posting to the X platform on Twitter. I think David Coverdale lives in California now. Obviously he's a British guy, but he's living in California. Well, Reb Beach of Winger, but also of Whitesnake, said he would love to play a few final Whitesnake shows to say goodbye. Of course, what happened 3 years ago is I think Whitesnake and the Scorpions were supposed to go on the road, and apparently Reb gets a call from David Coverdale and says, "My darling, I cannot do it. I'm exhausted." And then he canceled the tour. The great thing about David Coverdale, he calls everybody darling, which is kind of nice. So he would call you darling. He would call me darling. He would call a young lady darling. He would call an older lady darling. He would call an old man darling, perhaps. So anyways, kind of fun. Reb Beach also says, I've always been under the impression that David, if he does do something, it's going to be 5 nights in Vegas. So that would be cool. I've seen Whitesnake twice. I saw him on the 1987 tour when they were still opening for Motley Crue, kind of a famous story of mine, which I will not tell, but that's when I learned that David Coverdale has one of the dirtiest mouths in the world. All due respect to David because he's a hoot. And then Jen and I saw him at Fiddler's Green in Denver, which would have been circa 2004, maybe 2004, somewhere in that time range, 2003. And they headlined the show. Kip Winger actually did a solo show, ironically. Been a lot of guitarists in and out of Whitesnake. That's what I should do. I should rank all of the Whitesnake guitarists because Joel Hoekstra's been there, Reb Beach, John Sykes, Vivian Campbell, Adrian Vandenberg. The list goes on and on and on. So hoping that, yes, we do get a final show from Whitesnake. So there you go. Another thing going on, Sammy Hagar. So you remember the other day, that kind of elongated story about David Lee Roth taking a little bit of a shot at Sammy Hagar for writing a song that, according to Sammy, was inspired by the ghost of by Eddie Van Halen. Well, and then Dave saying that, yeah, the ghost of Eddie Van Halen did come to my room as well, and we smoked some Marlboro Reds, and it was a good time, and that Eddie's saving me a seat in hell, or at least Dave's going to hell, at least according to Dave. Maybe Eddie's in heaven, so there you go. But Sammy Hagar is basically calls out David Lee Roth's recent comments as an olive branch moment. He's turning it a 180. Now, to Sammy's credit, Dave did say that he was a really good singer. So there you go. So maybe that's something that Sammy took as a nugget. And then Sammy also adds in his comments about this, if you listen closely, you will see this is not negative whatsoever. He's kind of making fun of you, Sam, but okay, I get it. If Sammy wants to spin this into something positive, I dig it. I think it's cool, and that's fun. So this rivalry between Sammy and Dave is so amazing. I can't believe that these guys actually toured together. Probably that would have probably been in 2002, I'm thinking, somewhere in that time frame, the Sam and Dave tour back in the day when they wouldn't come out and join each other on stage. It was very competitive, apparently, and they'd trade off opening and closing. So, but yeah, so I don't know. It's fun to see the dysfunction that is Van Halen, I suppose. Yeah, so there you go. All right, let's get to my best of Maiden, because Maiden's got a lot of good records, including recent records too. I mean, the records that have come out in the last 25 years, some of them have been pretty damn good. But like every band, it's the early stuff. It's when they're in their late teens, their early 20s to late 20s. That's when any artist is going to be their most creative. And it proves it out here. This is my list of the best Iron Maiden records. I could have definitely put Somewhere in Time at number one. I love that record. Wasted Years, of course, is I guess the one song that kind of crossed over, maybe Run to the Hills. But Wasted Years definitely got some MTV play back in the day. Stranger in a Strange Land. I love that song. It is so good. So at number 5, I've got Somewhere in Time. If you've got a favorite Maiden record, you can shout it out in the chat, or you can leave a comment if you're watching it back. Of course, if you're missing the show, you can always rewind, and then you can always watch it back on Facebook or YouTube at whenever you're available. And then, of course, the podcast is available via Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. So not too shabby. Cool. Number 4, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son from '88. Can I Play with Madness? I love that song. The Evil That Men Do. Really good song as well. In fact, I probably should have put Somewhere in Time ahead of Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, but still, it is what it is. I mean, these are all interchangeably great, in my opinion. Peace of Mind by Iron Maiden, of course, in '83. Highlights there, The Trooper and Flight of Icarus. I love the Flight of Icarus. What's so interesting about this list is that I love Stranger in a Strange Land, and actually Wasted Years. I love that as well. But Can I Play with Madness? I love that. Flight of Icarus is one of my favorite songs. And so every album has like this just elite song. And then the rest of the album is really good as well. But there's always an elite song or several on every Iron Maiden record. Number of the Beast, Run to the Hills, obviously. Hallowed Be Thy Name. Run to the Hills. I mean, I think if there was ever Iron Maiden song, I would be like, I don't need to hear that again. It would probably be that one. I mean, not that it's not a great song. It's just we've heard it millions of times over the years. It's the one song that radio will probably play. It's the one song that if you see a video, it's probably the video for Run to the Hills. So no disrespect meant to Run to the Hills. It's just one of those songs that it's just like, okay, I get it. You know, it's great, but come on, baby. And then number 1, I've got is Powerslave. I remember when that Zoetrope picture disc came out last year for the, was it last year? I guess it would have been last year for the 40th anniversary of Powerslave. We sold the hell out of those things, and they immediately sold out. And that seems like it was a one and done pressing. So if you missed out on that, that sucks. I remember we got one in at about a month later. I'm guessing somebody canceled an order, and our distributor sent us one final one. I don't remember who got that one, but still very, very nice. Hey, Beat After Beat's here. Good to see you, Beat After Beat. And then I hope you're feeling better. So I've got Powerslave at number 1 with 2 Minutes to Midnight. Love that song as well. Aces High. So that would be kind of my that might be my set list for Iron Maiden right there. I'm just gonna go ahead and do all these songs, 10 songs, and boom. I'd be a happy camper. When's the last time you heard anybody use the word happy camper? That's one of those words from the past. So, all right. Some new vinyl announced today. Sort of. So Target apparently is getting in on the Walmart action. Now Lars and James, they love themselves some Walmart. Nobody loves Walmart more than Lars Ulrich and James Hetfield. I get it, guys. You're in love, completely in love with Walmart. Well, now you're getting a little love. Well, they're giving a little love to Target as well. A Master of Puppets Target exclusive has been announced, coming out October 3rd. What's the big deal on this one? Well, it's still black vinyl. It's nothing sexy, but it includes a Stranger Things themed sticker sheet. So let's see if there was another. What if Stranger Things has another Metallica song in it because of Eddie, right? Because not Iron Maiden's Eddie, but Eddie. There you go. So let's see what's on Master of Puppets. Besides Master of Puppets, let me see the track list on this bad boy really quick here. Where's my track list? Track listing, Battery, Welcome Home Sanitarium, ooh, The Thing That Should Not Be. So yeah, any of those songs would be super cool if they ended up in the new Stranger Things, which comes out, I guess, over, when does that come out? That comes out in November for Thanksgiving, and then another part comes out for Christmas, then another part comes out for New Year's. So there you go. But $28 for this one, you're just getting a Stranger Things themed sticker sheet, which I guess is something, but I don't know. Are you or I going to go to Target and buy that just because it's a Target exclusive? I think I'd rather go to Walmart, Lars, and James. So anyways, I digress. But yeah, so there you go. Beat After Beat does love Powerslave as well. So very nice. I think I have chosen wisely then, if Beat After Beat concurs. Here's a band that's from Minneapolis that I never really got into. Just not my cup of tea. I'm a Van Halen guy, Metallica guy, stuff like that. This is The Replacements. All due respect, cool band. I know that Mike, one of our local favorites, was a big fan of The Replacements. This is Let It Be getting a reissue. It's $115, but it is a 4 LP. So you're getting a lot of stuff. You're getting a lot of live stuff from Chicago as well, ironically. So they did a bunch of live shows in Chicago back around that time. So The Replacements, Let It Be, 4 LP. Oops, I need to learn how to spell. Live 10-inch vinyl as well. So you get the 4 LP, you get the book, you get the 10-inch vinyl. So for $115, okay. I mean, would I do that if somebody said, "Hey, Pyromania is available and you can get"? Well, of course I would. And there was a 10-inch. Yeah, I'd get it as well. So, or what's another record that I love? Oh, Tesla, Psychotic Supper, as an example, might do that as well. New Order is reissuing a bunch of stuff as well. I know Daryl, one of our local favorites, loved himself some New Order. Respect to New Order. This comes out September 26th, priced at $38. You're thinking $38? Wow, this must be a hell of a release. No, it's just a Universal Music Group release. So you're getting screwed over by the biggest company in the industry. The company that will screw over YouTubers, record stores, customers, and artists. The trifecta 9 out of 10 times, if somebody's getting screwed over in music, it's Universal Music Group doing the screwing. So congratulations to Universal Music on pricing a 140-gram vinyl record for $38. Okay, whatever. Now, in the meantime, you can get this for $32, and this one's actually pretty sexy. This is Stranger Than Fiction and by Bad Religion on Purple. See, I need a little more issues with my typing today. See, I'm out of it today. That's probably why. So, Jen, please don't judge. Purple, white, black, and silver splatter vinyl. That comes out September 29th, and that is $32. So much cheaper and much cooler. If that would have been the design on the New Order record, that would have been pretty cool because it matches kind of the colors up there in the upper right-hand corner of the album. But no. So we just got to go ahead and pick up the Bad Religion instead of the New Order. So cool. Armagen says, New Order is awesome, but every time they reissue something, it's insanely expensive. Exactly. And we know who's to blame for that. So there you go. All right. We did this on Monday for the Battle of August 18th. Now I'm doing it for the Battle of August 20th. Do you have a winner? Who would you pick? I think most people probably in the room will pick Queensryche's Empire, or After the Fact if you want to comment. However, you got to give it some love, man. Peter Steele and Company. Typo Negative, October Rust. We always sold the hell out of Typo Negative in the store. Those are records that are always hard to get in. Obviously, Peter Steele is no longer with us. It has sold 1 million copies worldwide. Gold in the US. Not too bad, I guess. Some notable singles there. To my left, Love You to Death, My Girlfriend's Girlfriend, Cinnamon Girl, and In Praise of Bacchus. However, that record, 1996. So that would have come out. Let me do my math there. That had been 39 years ago. No. Oh my God. It's not that old. 29 years ago. Now, meanwhile, Empire came out 35 years ago. Produced by Peter Collins. I don't know the name really, but cool. Respect, because it sounded amazing. Obviously, the follow-up to Operation Mindcrime. Yeah. 3 million copies sold in the US, triple platinum. Notable singles, Silent Lucidity, which everybody loves. That's probably a song that's probably getting up towards 1 billion plays, right? You'd think so. I should do a quick check. Hang on, let me do a quick check. I'm going to open Spotify. I better not play any music, though, because Universal Music will come after me if I play any music, because, God forbid we talk about music, but we can actually play music. That would be just wrong. So Silent Lucidity, let's see how many plays that has. Never mind. It's got nothing. I mean, it's a lot. It's almost 100 million, but it's 900 million from 1 billion. So I was completely wrong. This album cooks, man. This is like if they were doing a replacements type of deal with this record, I would be all in on this bad boy. So you got Best I Can, love it. The Thin Line, great. Jet City Woman was a single. That's awesome. Della Brown is a great song. Another Rainy Night Without You was a single, of course. Empire, we're building empires. It's starting to hit me like a 2-ton heavy thing. Exactly. Hand on Heart is a great song. One and Only, Anybody Listening is great as well. And then there's some bonus songs on a remastered 2003 edition. And then there's some stuff live at Hammersmith Odeon from back in the day. So very cool. Yeah, Empire, hands down to me, just because I'm not as familiar with October Rust, but when it came to putting an album out in history that came out in the rock or metal world, that came out on August 20th, Typo Negative was the best bet to put up against Queensryche. So we'll see if anybody went with Typo Negative. I see Empire without hesitation. Very nice. Beat After Beat doing Queensryche, baby. Hey, Greg, good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Love to see some of our old friends hang out occasionally. Empire would win most battles with... well, that's true. The only album that I might actually say is better than Queensryche's Empire, I would say Pyromania. Albums like that. Van Halen 1, 1984. But Operation Mindcrime, I still think is a better record, but that is saying a lot. That's like putting it like a 9.9 versus a 9.8 there. So a great record. So cool. All right, so seems like the consensus is indeed Queensryche, because Queensryche is the mad note, baby. That classic lineup. See, everybody is still alive in that band, thankfully, except only Michael Wilton and Eddie Jackson are in Queensryche. Jeff Tate's doing his own thing. Scott Rockenfield just actually announced a new record, the drummer in Queensryche. And then, of course, Chris DeGarmo is he's a pilot. He loves flying planes. So, but to bring that band back together, we talk about all these bands that could come back together. Twisted Sister, obviously, they're missing a member. Okay, I get it. However, Skid Row, there's a chance we could get that band back together. Queensryche for one show, that would be amazing. Oh my God! So there you go. Yeah, Origin of the Feces. Are you referring to Origin of the Feces by Typo Negative? We had that in the record store once. It's not a pretty cover. It's not a pretty cover. I'm just like, what in the wide world of sports is this? All of the Typo Negative stuff is a little blue when it comes to the covers. So there you go. Hey, if you've made it this far, perhaps you want to go a little further and meet me down in Sewantaneo. You'll have to cross the border. The Texas border into Mexico at Fort Hancock, Texas. And you can give me a smash the like button. That's all I'm asking for. You, me, Red, and Andy Dufresne will have a good time. We'll reminisce about being in prison. And yeah, it'll be a good time. So if you're digging the show, make sure you smash the like button on Facebook or on YouTube. I'd appreciate it. And if you want to tell a friend about the show, Jerry the dog there, who's got a nice shiny coat. He must be eating lots of sorghum. That's how you get a nice shiny coat. You eat lots of sorghum, at least according to Woody Hamilton. Not Woody Hamilton, Woody Harrelson on Cheers. What was his name? Oh, Woody Boyd on Cheers. So there you go. Tour announcements today. Oh, White Lion. Yeah, we should get White Lion back together. That would be a good one. But yeah, Vito Bratta, he's not even playing guitar. Man, there's so many. Damn it. We came from an era of so much great music in the 80s. Come on, man. The 80s were just sublime, but too much dysfunction. Maybe that's why bands just don't exist anymore. It's, rock music has kind of fallen off a cliff when it comes to especially bands and stuff. So I'm hoping that like Billie Eilish at some point does a rock album, because I think she could probably do a rock album. I know a lot of guys and a lot of older people like Billie Eilish, and she's really young still, but her stuff is good, maybe because she works with her brother Phineas, so it's a great combination there. He produces and then they write together. So anyways, I digress. Finger 11. Which Finger 11? Hey, you want to go to Saskatoon coming up this weekend and meet me and Jen in Saskatoon? Yeah, it'd be a pretty good time, I got my Minnesota accent, and I can turn it into a little bit of a Canadian accent, eh? I'm not going to pay $3.40 for something that's mostly dough, especially if I'm going into my backyard to eat it. So there you go. Not too shabby. Anyways, Finger 11 tour is kicking off. They're starting in Canada. They're going through the East Coast. They're going a little bit of Midwest, and then they're going back to Canada again. Wow. I guess they're not going south of the Mason-Dixon line. Look at that. Wow. Nothing south of the Mason-Dixon. Nothing south of the Mason-Dixon. Oh, my God. Nothing south of the Mason-Dixon. Wow. Nothing south of the Mason-Dixon line. Wow. That's a lot of Dixon coming out of my mouth. All right, cool. So that's Finger. It's only fitting, I guess, if it's Finger 11 as well. My friend David Lee Roth. David, can you get the door? Our Japanese copy of Playboy has arrived. Well, then, he says, I will get the door. All right, cool. David Lee Roth in concert. He's out on tour as well. He's kind of starting to, maybe not really winding up. Last night, I guess he was in Gary, Indiana. Tomorrow night, he's in Cincinnati. I know a guy in Cincinnati, Scott. Maybe Scott's going to see David Lee Roth tomorrow night, because I know he's a huge Van Halen fan. Let's see, Illinois, Missouri. Now he's going south of the Mason-Dixon line. Oklahoma, a little Dayton, Chandler, Arizona at Wild Horse Pass Casino. That's like a 3-wood from the house here. So Jen and I could go see him. San Diego. And a bunch of dates in California. So that's the David Lee Roth tour. Ba-ba-ba-ba-boom. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-boom. Baby. All right, cool. I got some more tour dates as well, including Queensryche and Story of the Year coming up. I want to catch up on the chat, though. Tora show. That'd be pretty good. Tora, right? Cool. I'm currently listening to Crimson Glory. I don't know who Crimson Glory is. I heard a Sleazebees song today that was actually pretty good. I'm thinking Sleazebees. I would have never given that band the time of day back in the 80s just because of the name, even up until today. But somehow it ended up on a playlist, and I'm listening to it. I'm like, this is a good song. Who is this? It's Sleazebees. Go figure. Every Mother's Nightmare. Yeah. They were a great band from the 80s that was just kind of one and done, but still, it was they were super cool. So there you go. All right, Queensryche tour dates. That is a tour starting in November. They're going out with Accept, Woof, from Accept, but no Udo Dirkschneider because Udo Dirkschneider's in his own band. You remember Udo, of course, Balls to the Walls. Boom, that iconic video. Queensryche going out in Denver. They're starting the tour. And looks like a lot of dates in Florida. I see one in Phoenix. Very nice. A couple in California as well. St. Petersburg, Florida. Once again, I know it. You robbed a bank in St. Petersburg one time and you won't admit it. You got away with it. Damn, man. Who robs a bank and gets away with it? Well, it would probably been what? The early 90s. You robbed the bank in St. Petersburg. You got away with it. And then you went straight. You're just like, life of crime, not for me anymore. I understand. So there you go. Cool. Rough Cut, also a very cool band. And Tough. Very nice. I saw actually some performance footage of Vane the other day. They sounded pretty good. Shotgun Messiah. Don't get me started on that. Actually, the guy that's fronted Shotgun Messiah has hinted that Shotgun Messiah might do some shows next year. We'll see. They haven't performed in 35 years, I don't think. Something like that. Their last show was like in Minneapolis in 1993 or 1992. It's crazy. Now, would they come over to the United States? I don't know if that will happen. The only way that happens is if we get a reissue of the first Shotgun Messiah and the second Shotgun Messiah records. And we have seen companies like Pius of America, also Deco Entertainment. I should ping my friends at Deco and say, Charlie, Shotgun Messiah reissue, make it happen. Since Deco's doing some stuff there as well. So, but yeah, we've had a lot of good 80s stuff, but now we're getting to the point now where the Dokken catalog's reissued and the Great White catalog's reissued. Now we're getting down to looking for stuff like XYZ, like TNT, like Rough Cut. Well, I mean, a TNT record, in all honesty, is probably not going to cost you that much to find an OG copy. Shotgun Messiah, woof, forget about it, man. Forget about it. There you go. What else? I knocked over a Piggly Wiggly. Yeah, so it was you that robbed a bank in St. Petersburg and a Piggly Wiggly in Yazoo. Nice. Story of the Year announces a tour today, along with Census Fail. Scream Team Tour 2025. Let's see. Atlanta, Raleigh, Baltimore, Philly, New York. These are all major markets. Boston, Buffalo, Detroit, Pittsburgh. Sounds like a good NFL lineup matchup. The Falcons versus the Panthers. No, that's a terrible matchup. I don't want that on Sunday Night Football. The Ravens versus the Eagles. Well, that actually might be pretty good. The Giants versus the Patriots. Now that would suck, kind of, because both those teams are terrible now. The Bills versus the Lions. That would be a good matchup. Very nice. The Steelers with Aaron Rodgers against the Bengals. That would be a great matchup. The Packers versus the Vikings. Always a classic matchup. The Broncos versus the Broncos, apparently, because they got two Denver shows. Very nice. But I guess the Broncos, no, there's no team in Salt Lake City. So the Broncos and the Seahawks, pretty good matchup there. And then finally, Anaheim versus Riverside. So I guess we'll go Rams and the Chargers. Pretty good matchup there as well. So not too shabby when it comes to so basically they're doing the NFL football tour this fall starting in November. So very nice. Beat after beat. Do you have a favorite NFL team? And Greg, you're in Texas, so if you don't say the Cowboys, I don't know. Somebody's going to have to ask you to leave there. So, but do you guys have favorite NFL teams? Mine obviously is the Vikings. That is 60 years of misery, 50 years without a Super Bowl appearance. That's really bad. Beat after beat apparently doesn't like the Lions. Yeah. Herver, you got a favorite football team? Let me know. And the tripod reissue date. Oh, Herver's mocking me. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. See. Alice in Chains, self-titled. So it hasn't been announced yet. October 31st. So it's actually a little later in the year than I thought. So odds are it's going to be announced sometime in mid-September. That's when it's going to come out. They're going to do an announcement in mid-September, or if they don't do an announcement in mid-September, I guarantee you they will announce the tripod reissue on Halloween, which is a Friday, or maybe on Thursday, to avoid the Halloween holiday. So there you go. I'm sticking to it. I'm still locked in. Osmosis is starting to slip a little bit for me. I'm down to about 50% chance that we're going to get Osmosis because that needs to be announced like pronto. But I'm still okay on Tripod because that was released October 31st. So either we're going to do the announcement that day or the release that day. I predict we will get the release that day. So within the next 3 to 4 weeks, it's still coming, Herver. I guarantee it. It's guaranteed, baby. Wow. Gregory is an Eagles fan living in the great state of Texas. That is, wow. That's the Dolphins. They're like the Vikings. They haven't been good in like 50 years as well, too. Poor Herver and poor me. And Craig got the Eagles and won a Super Bowl with the tush push. What a bullshit move that is, by the way. Eagles. Hey, the Vikings. The good news for the Vikings is they got a couple male cheerleaders this year, so they're looking zesty. So everybody loves that. At least some people love that. So that should be pretty fun. All right, cool. A reminder, we are live on YouTube. I've got to update this through the end of the year, and we're live on Facebook through the end of the year. We're live on YouTube in perpetuity until Universal Music says, this guy's saying bad stuff about us, so we need to get him, we need to give him a copyright strike or something. But other than that, I love everybody. I just can't stand Universal Music Group. So there you go. That's all it is. That's all it is. But I love everybody. So there you go. Beat After Beat says he will not be stuck with, not be caught with a Detroit Lions sticker on my truck. So who's your team then? Did I miss your team? Do you have a team? So we got the Dolphins, we got the Eagles, we got the Vikings. Jen's team might have been the Packers back then. Oh, danger. Also, Jen said in the chat. I forgot to mention that. But yeah. That's cool. That's cool. So I'm just going to hang on. Born and raised in Detroit. Well, the Lions, the Motor City Kitties, I mean, they've had some success, but the problem is, well, for so many years, they drafted wide receivers in the first round. That's always a fool's errand, and that's what the Vikings do as well. So that's on them. So there you go. You're invited to have Thanksgiving at our place, Pete. Oh, there we go. Very nice. We like to call it the brotherly shove. Yeah, I bet you do. And then, yeah, so there you go. All right, cool. I think that I have no NFL team. Professional sports pisses me off, Jen says. I agree. I understand completely. I see that Major League Baseball is going to be selling some of their MLB TV, it sounds like, to ESPN again. ESPN just bought the Red Zone. I'm afraid they're going to wreck that since ESPN is kind of a crap network these days, unfortunately, and MLB might be getting a new agreement there. So anyways, and the whole problem with the NFL is like, oh, you got to have Peacock, you got to have Netflix, you got to have Amazon, you got to have all these damn streaming services. People are just going to start cheating the system again because the streaming services are just ridiculous with all of those different streaming services. People are just going to be like, I'm going to call up my brother-in-law and he's going to make it so I can get all the MMA fights. Well, those will be on Peacock soon, or Paramount, maybe it's Paramount. And I'm going to cheat the system, baby. That's what they're doing. But that's what the entertainment industry always does. They wreck everything good, baby. His sports is stock car racing. I don't know much about stock car racing. I know that Dale Earnhardt is number 3. There you go. And I know that who was my favorite driver growing up? Bill Elliott, because he had the same last name as Joe Elliott of Def Leppard. So there you go. That's the big show for today. A friendly reminder. I should do what did we learn today? We learned that Bon Jovi is pretty successful, even in the modern age. But, John, it's that Slippery When Wet record that's successful. Not that stuff after 92, buddy boy. Embrace the early stuff, John. We also learned that David Coverdale is a hoot on Twitter, or X as it's known as now. And hopefully we'll see some final Whitesnake shows. At least Reb Beach wants to see that. And then we also learned that Iron Maiden's best record is Powerslave. Very nice. And then we also learned that Lars and our friend James Hetfield not only love themselves some Walmart, they love Walmart. They like everything Walmart when it comes to James and Lars. But they also apparently love themselves some Target now. So congratulations to the guys. And then we also learned finally that the best album in the history of the world on August 20th was Queensryche's Empire. Boom. Yes, thank you, Jen. Boom. Gregory says ESPN is trash, but these days the trash is winning. Yeah, there you go. These Days of 94 is a great album, Herver says. Okay. Bon Jovi These Days. Man, is that the greatest hits record? Maybe it's the greatest hits record. I don't think it was the greatest hits record. Hang on a second. I'm gonna go looking for Bon Jovi here really quick, Herver. Because I love the first record. I love 7800. I love Slippery. I love New Jersey. It hasn't stood the test of time as well to me. Jen says it has, and one of our local favorites, Tom, says it has. And then Keep the Faith, obviously, is a pretty good record. Pretty good. Crossroad. Oh, that was Crossroad was the greatest hits record, wasn't it? I believe that was the greatest hits record. Yeah, greatest hits record that had Always on it. And someday I'll be Saturday Night. Nobody wants that. And then finally, These Days. Let's see what was on These Days, because Herver says we're going to give proper attribution to Herver, and we'll see what that album looks like. Obviously, there's no Alex John Such in the band anymore. The first single was This Ain't a Love Song, Something for the Pain. These all sound like Poison titles, by the way. Lie to Me, These Days, and Hey God. Produced by Peter Collins. Wow, It's a Small World. That's the guy that produced Empire by Queensryche. Wow. So maybe, okay, I'm going to turn myself around. If the guy produced Empire by Queensryche and he produced These Days, so Herver, everything's coming together there. Very nice. Let's see. What production? So who did this guy, Peter Collins, produce? So he produced Air Supply. He produced Power Windows by Rush. Pretty good album. Hold Your Fire as well. Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime. And then obviously Empire. Hey Stupid by Alice Cooper. Remember the band Saraya? Remember that band? It looks like Sarah Yeah, but it's Saraya. That was a pretty good band from the 80s. It doesn't really do that much anymore. This guy also produced Counterparts from Rush, These Days from Bon Jovi, and then Test for Echo from Rush, Here in the Now Frontier from Queensryche. And yeah, that's kind of the highlights of it. He did produce a Rick Astley record here in the last 20 years, and then some Brian Setzer stuff. So there you go. Very nice. Okay, Herbert. So I'm not gonna crap all over These Days now that I know Peter Collins produced it. Maybe I'll give it a listen tomorrow and see what it sounded like. Cool. Malcolm named 2 songs off of These Days. I can't. This Ain't a Love Song and Something for the Pain and No Lie to Me and These Days. So there you go. Cool. All right. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. This might be the longest show we've ever done, which is kind of ironic since I moved the show to 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central. I don't know what I'm doing. And then 3 Pacific. And that's what the schedule is going to be going forward. So there you go. I'm going to go listen to These Days by Bon Jovi tomorrow. I guarantee it. I promise. I'm going to actually queue it up in that place we call Spotify. Though I don't know if Jen and I may have that record actually. And then, and then I'm also going to listen to some Queensryche tomorrow. Definitely Operation Live Crime, Operation Mind Crime, and Empire. So I should listen to Empire tonight, I suppose. That would probably be a better pick. Anyways, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I'm just going to wait till the 50-minute mark. I only got 20 seconds to go, so I'm going to go 50 minutes tonight. Yeah, I think that's it. So I don't have anything witty else to say, so I could probably tell you a very inappropriate joke, but I will hold my tongue there. So there you go. Yep. Feel better beat. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll